What's up, everyone? My name is Tyler. I'm here with Sam. Today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn ads and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. To get started, we have a little agenda. Why LinkedIn ads, getting started with LinkedIn ads, targeting, ad formats, benchmarks and tips, and then Sam's going to take over on Sales Navigator. So why LinkedIn ads? LinkedIn is a social network in which it connects professionals with each other. It provides a great advertising hub for B2B and B2C brands. When setting up LinkedIn ads, there are a few things that you should know before you get started. They're your objectives, your targeting, your budgeting and schedule, and lastly, your goal. So we're going to start off by taking a look at a few different objectives that we have. First one is brand awareness, and as it states, it's mainly an awareness campaign. This is to get impressions, help people find out who you are. Next, we have consideration stage. Website visits is clear, trying to drive traffic to your website. Next is engagement. This is getting people to share, like, comment on your ads as to help build a following. And then lastly, in consideration is video views. This is just an ad making sure that you get people watching your video. Then we move into conversions. To start is lead generation. This is an ad that has a pre-built out form in it, which basically takes up business professionals, all their information, and all they have to do is hit submit to give you their information. Then we have website conversions. So if you have an e-commerce store and you're trying to make sales, this would be the campaign for you. And lastly, you have job applicants. So if you're trying to find someone to fill a role or a position, this would be the type of campaign you would want to use. Next, we get into targeting. To start, you're generally going to want to pick an area. So whether it be a city, a state, an address, a zip code, that's where you're going to start. You can target all of the United States to just Cleveland, Ohio. After you figure out your location targeting, there are 5 main targeting options in LinkedIn. They are company, demographics, education, job experience, and interests. We start by looking at the company. So if you're advertising for a company, you can advertise to the connections of that page as well as the followers. You can also target by company industries, so maybe automotive industries, engineering industries, beauty industries, as well as the company name. So something like you could target people who work at Ford, you could target people who work at Dove, and so on. And then lastly in company is the company size, whether you want to target to a company that has 1 to 10 people or 100,000 people. Then we get into the demographics. This is just member age and gender, very simple. After the demographics, we can get into education. So if you want to target somebody based on a degree they have, whether it be a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you can do that here. As well as fields of studies. So if you want to target somebody who's in marketing like myself, or if you want to target someone who's maybe a physician assistant or an engineer, this is where you would go to do that. And lastly, you can actually target by schools. So if you want to target someone who went to Harvard University or the Ohio State University, you could do that here. Next, we move into job experience. To start, we have job functions. A few of these would be, for me personally, when targeting someone who is a paid advertising specialist, you want them to have a certification in Google Ads and Google Analytics, and this is where you would go to target there. Next, we move into job seniorities. Job seniorities are entry level, internship, director, and so on. And then we get into job titles. So if you're a manager, an account executive, this is where you would go to target there. And then you get into member skills, so stuff like Microsoft Excel, Hootsuite, etc. And then years of experience. So if you're looking for someone with 5+ years, 10+ years, 20+ years, this is where you would go to target. And lastly, we have interests. So you start off by member groups. So say you're a sports firm and you want to advertise to people who are interested in sports. On LinkedIn, you can join certain sports groups. So myself, I am a part of the Cleveland Cavaliers group. So if somebody were to target based on that, they would most likely hit me. As well as member interests, so just general things that you're interested in. So that wraps up our targeting, and next we're going to move into ad format. These are the 6 types of ad formats that you would use. So single image ad, carousel image ad, video ad, and spotlight ad are generally sponsored content. These advertisements live directly within the LinkedIn feed, appearing alongside the organic content LinkedIn members make. You can think of them as promoted posts, as they're essentially amplified versions of the links, media, or messaging you would normally share through your company page. So when to use these, to raise awareness of company events or initiatives, generating leads, increasing traffic to a website or a landing page, boosting followers, and even generating more engagements. Next, we get into in-mail ads. We use this feature for sending personalized messages to high targeted recipients. Because sponsored in-mail only delivers to active LinkedIn members, there is no need to worry about messages bouncing or landing in abandoned inboxes. A few examples on when to use them: driving downloads to gated assets, promoting webinars and special promotions, generating B2B leads, and directly engaging valuable prospects or connections. Lastly, we have text ads. This is LinkedIn's PPC platform, pay-per-click, with ads that display on the side rail or inline. They're easy to create, and as the name suggests, you only pay based on clicks or impressions, so you can feel confident you are getting your money's worth. A few examples on when to use them are targeting highly specific B2B audiences, driving traffic to your website or landing page, attracting quality job candidates, setting up easy measurable campaigns for conversion tracking. After you decide on your ad format, we move into budget and scheduling. You can set your budget as a daily budget or a monthly budget or a lifetime budget. Here you will decide on your cost per click, as well as you will also decide on your scheduling, whether you want to run your ad for a day, a month, a year, and so on. After we get through setting up all the parameters for the ad, we then move into creating the ad itself. Most of the sponsored content will require an image and text, while in-mail and text ads only require text. Now that we have chosen our objective, set up the targeting, decided on the ad format, and created the ad itself, all that's left to do is to manage and report on your ad. Some of the benchmarks according to LinkedIn include, so for sponsored content, an average click-through rate of 0.35% and 0.45%. For text ads, an average click-through rate of 0.012% and 0.030%. And for sponsored in-mail, you have an open rate range of 25% to 45% and a click-through rate of 2% to 5%. And then also the average click-through or average cost per click on LinkedIn ads is between $2 and $7.
How does that compare to some other platforms?
So generally, for Google Ads, our cost per click averages around 15 cents to $2. Facebook can be anywhere between $1 and $4. So generally, LinkedIn, it does cost a little bit more. However, you are advertising to professionals. You're not advertising to just everyone. So a few tips according to LinkedIn are to have a compelling image. LinkedIn users have found that using the right picture can always increase results. Keep your text sweet and simple. 150 characters is proven to work best for users. Find your target sweet spot. Take your time and really think about who you want to be advertising to. For higher click-through rate and conversions, bid a little bit above the suggested bid. And lastly, when targeting high-value audiences, try to use in-mail ads. So let's advertise to business professionals today.
Yay.
All right.
One more question about targeting.
Yeah.
Can you repeat my question too, in case people can't hear me?
Yeah.
But do you have to use all of those targeting methods?
the question was, do we have to use all the targeting methods? No. You can just, if you are solely focused on, you just want someone with 5+ years of experience, and they graduated from a certain school, and they're they have a marketing degree, that's all you can do. Or you can get into the real nitty-gritty stuff. You want them to have 5+ years of experience. You want them to graduate from this school. You want them to be interested in X, Y, and Z. You want them to have previous job history where their roles included being a manager, an executive, and even a director. All right, cool. Next, we're going to move on to Sam, and he's going to talk about LinkedIn Sales Navigator.